This is the newsroom for Friday, April 30th, 2021. We're broadcasting to you on E1, Scar TV, NTN, and Tarzi TV in Bartica. In the headlines, tragedy strikes the mining town of Linden after a 20-year-old woman was found shot to death and buried in the backyard of the house of her 21-year-old boyfriend almost a month since she was reported missing.
A stabbing back. This is cutting the dirt under we feet. We never expect something like that.
Sal's Sodomies Management summoned by the Labour Minister Joseph Hamilton over alleged breaches of Guyana's laws. In tonight's feature, we tell you about a young Guyanese man who launched a shoe shining business that helped put him through college. And in sport, Rugby Union President Ryan Day discusses Covid19 vaccination plan for local players. And despite financial challenges, GFF President confident ahead of upcoming Golden Jaguars games. With the news, I'm Kurt Campbell. We're glad you can join us. First up, police in Linden early Friday morning found the partly decomposed body of 20-year-old Shawnette Dover in a shallow grave in the backyard of Shaquan Allen, her 21-year-old fiancé, who's now in hiding. Her family and the mining town of Linden remains in shock over the gruesome murder after the suspect reportedly shot her to death in the presence of her teenage sister and buried her in the backyard with the help of his father. Vishani Raghavir joins us with the details.
Shawnette Dover went missing on April 3, 2021, after she received some money from her brother earlier in the day. Later that afternoon, she was scheduled to work at a bar in Greenheart Street, Mackenzie, Linden, but she never turned up. After weeks of frantic searches from her family and friends, Dover's 15-year-old sister told the police that she saw when her fiancé, Shaquan Allen, shot and killed her on the night of April 3rd, and then buried her in the backyard of his house at Canvas City, Wismar, Linden, in the presence of his father. Detectives were able to solve the case of the missing woman after they received certain information at around 22:35 hours on Thursday, and they contacted the teenager. They questioned her in the presence of a child care and probation officer at the Wismar Police Station Criminal Investigation Department and subjected her to a video interview. During that interview, she revealed that on the night of the incident, the fiancé was oiling his brownish gun in the living room. He then pointed the gun at Dover, who told him to put the gun away. The 15-year-old further revealed that she then heard a sound like a squib, and Allen allegedly said he shot Dover. Subsequently, the man told his father, and according to reports, the trio buried Dover at the back of the house and hid the gun. Meanwhile, the victim's grandmother, Constance Dover, said that the revelation of Allen's actions feels like a stab in the back. She spoke with the newsroom on Friday. Here is an audio recording.
I'm being nice at all. I'm being nice because I didn't expect something like this. This is a shock. It's a stabbing back. This is cutting the dirt under we feet. We never expect something like that. We should have tight. And I know all these things.
The grandmother related that Allen had joined several search parties for Dover after the young woman's family and friends realized that she went missing. On Sunday last, he also joined a march in the community, which was organized to raise awareness on the missing woman. The man even visited the family afterwards. Constance did not know much of the relationship between her granddaughter and Allen, but she recounted that the two got engaged on Dover's birthday last year.
I know everybody say that he and Shawnette is friends and something. And when I say the birthday before this one, so he came to somewhere for his birthday and things and he got engaged she, right? But he didn't tell us. He said it was a surprise, right? So when they come from where they went out for the birthday, and then she come with chilling bunch of things and so. So I even tell him, I said, Ma, how we do it for? I said, you should have told us, even if you want to be a surprise for her, not us. You should have informed us why you did that.
Dover and Allen had been living at his Canvas City house since then. Her 15-year-old sister had also moved in with them subsequently. Dover's grandmother said that the 15-year-old sister is assisting with investigations into the matter. The father of the suspect also remains in police custody.
Meanwhile, Vishani Raghavir tells us now that Shaquan Allen had joined several search parties for the woman and had said that he was willing to pay any amount of money just to know whether the young woman was fine.
In a Facebook post on April 6, some 3 days after Dover's family and friends realized that she disappeared, Shaquan Allen pleaded with anyone who had information on the whereabouts of his fiancée to come forward, and that he would be willing to pay for any such information. In the same post, he pleaded with Shawnette Dover to make contact with her loved ones if she was out there, adding that everyone was worried sick. Allen, who is alleged to have shot Dover and buried her in a shallow grave aback his house, joined numerous search parties organized to help find the young woman. During an interview done sometime after the young woman went missing, the alleged killer had this to say.
Went on a party the night and came home back, realized that Shawnette is not home, what's not, so I tried calling her phone, voicemail, messaging, 1 star. So I went by the mother, because anytime she go anywhere, she sleep out and them thing. She's likely to go by, she mother don't sleep, she don't go nowhere else. I went by the mother said she didn't see Shawnette. So right away, they start, start bringing questions to me. So I start calling the friends, I call her father, I call her brother, the rest of cousins, everybody. Nobody said they didn't see Shawnette, nobody know where Shawnette is. So we just asking the public, everybody could come out and lend a hand so we could move forward with this and at least find her.
But all this time, Allen had allegedly already killed her and buried her in his backyard in the presence of his father and Dover's 15-year-old sister.
Last night, or yesterday after midnight, we received credible information that the body was at our boyfriend's backyard. Based on our investigation, the CID along with myself, 2IC, we went over to Wisma along with some uniform ranks. And we sat there and we planned. Last night, about minutes to midnight, into 4 o'clock in the morning, the ranks, they dug at the back of the house, and there the body was unearthed in over a heap of debris. The body was unearthed on a sitting position, the head up and the feet to the north.
On Friday morning, police issued a wanted bulletin for Allen for questioning in relation to the murder committed between April 3rd to 30th, 2021. Police said that his alias is Izwi, which is the same name on his Facebook page. Anyone with information that may lead to the arrest of Shaquan Allen is asked to contact the nearest police station.
Police are conducting investigations into the disappearance of 17-year-old Stephanie Doris, a student of Stewartville Secondary School, West Coast, Demerara, who went missing on April 26, 2021. The teen is said to be 5 feet medium built and brown in complexion with black hair. She was last seen wearing an orange-colored 3/4 pants with white t-shirt with black slippers. A missing persons report was filed at the Den Amstel police station on April 27. Anyone with information that may lead to the whereabouts of Stephanie Doris is asked to contact the nearest police station. All information will be treated with the strictest confidence. When the newsroom returns, Saul's Surnaries management summoned by Labour Minister Joseph Hamilton over alleged breaches of Guyana's laws, and more bars are shut down by the task force for breaching COVID-19 measures. You're watching the newsroom. A Friday morning visit to the Agricola East Bank Demerara headquarters of Salgana Inc. by Labour Minister Joseph Hamilton did little to address the complaints of employees in relation to the company's failure to honour Guyana's labour laws and the payment of overtime. Here are the details. Minister of Labour Joseph Hamilton on Friday wrote the Surnaries management of Salgana Inc., inviting them to a meeting at his office set for May 6, 2021. At that meeting, the minister, along with Labour officers, hoped to address the complaints of workers, which include the company's failure to pay overtime and the implementation of foreign rules in relation to the issue. Workers who have challenged the company on the issues have also complained of threats and intimidation from management. An employee who asked to remain anonymous told the newsroom that the company paid overtime up until the start of the pandemic in March 2020. Soon after, it was taken away because of the economic challenges COVID-19 posed. More than a year later, with the reopening of the economy and businesses back to normal, workers say their overtime is still not being paid. They complain that with the arrival of a new operations manager from Suriname, the company has sought to introduce a system where instead of paying overtime, workers will be given back the hours as days off. This, Minister Hamilton says, is totally against the laws of Guyana.
Breaking the law in a substantial way. It is not overtime issues now. Apparently in Suriname, they don't pay overtime.
Right.
What they do is calculate the overtime and they give you as day off.
Right.
So that is what they apparently has migrated here. But the law here is you have to pay money.
According to the laws of Guyana, overtime is to be paid after every 8-hour shift. Hamilton said when he visited SAL's head office on Friday, he was told that the general manager, Earl Carabon, along with the operations manager, Ashrin Tikai, both Surinamese, were unavailable. He said he managed to speak to the finance manager and a project engineer. However, both persons were prevented from providing information on the situation by the general manager who was on the phone.
I would dare say what the workers were owed over the period, they have to pay them. Because the workers didn't ask for a day off. As an employer, you have to obey the law. And what is upsetting is that I heard, because of this constant complaints and queries of staff, this week it boiled over because this operations manager summoned a meeting of the workers and basically threatened them.
Hamilton, in a direct message to the workers, said they have nothing to be afraid of.
Speaking to the workers here now, who works with SAL, that you have nothing to fear. You have nothing to fear via people attempting to intimidate you by speaking up and out for your rights and seeking intervention from the authorities. Any such attempt to penalize people for standing up for their rights at that company or any other company, we will take it to the other place.
The newsroom also reached out to the General Workers Union that represents the staff of SAL Guyana. The union's General Secretary Pancham Singh said there was a meeting between the two sides recently where the matter was resolved. He said the union received some of the same complaints and was subsequently informed that some employees who were owed overtime had begun to be paid. Several workers who spoke to the newsroom on Friday claimed that their overtime payments were still outstanding, with a continued insistence from the company to offer days off instead of payment. In wake of a devastating fire that completely destroyed the Sharon's Mall in Charlotte Street, Georgetown, the Ministry of Home Affairs has issued an advisory for all buildings over 2-story high to be equipped with the requisite fire safety equipment. More on this report from Shamika Day.
To ensure what happened at the Sharon's Mall on Wednesday evening never happens again, the Home Affairs Ministry has issued a mandate to all business owners with structures spanning more than 2 stories. That mandate requires them to outfit the large buildings with riser mains with hoses and fire sprinkler systems, along with smoke detectors, fire alarms, extinguishers, and other fire appliances. Firefighters battled the huge blaze at Sharon's Mall on Wednesday, but were unable to save the building. Efforts could have been assisted had the building been outfitted with fire equipment. This is according to the Home Affairs Minister Robeson Ben, who spoke to reporters at the fire scene.
Obviously, there is we have to look at the construction of the buildings and fundamental issues. The use of fire alarms, the provision of sprinkler systems, and the provision of riser mains in these types of buildings once they get over a couple of stories high. Those things have to be in these buildings. Fire alarms, riser mains, and sprinkler systems.
The mall, located on the corner of King and Charlotte Streets, Georgetown, was completely gutted at around 1930 hours on Wednesday, with the fire reportedly starting at around 1600 hours. When fire tenders arrived on scene, the fire was contained inside of the building. 2 hours after, a huge burst of flame erupted and engulfed the entire top flat, traveling downwards to the other floors. Up to press time, investigations were still ongoing into the cause of the fire. However, it is believed to be electrical. For the newsroom, I am Shakima Day.
Another person who tested positive for COVID-19 has succumbed to the dreaded disease, taking the country's death toll since March 2020 to 296. The latest fatality is a 57-year-old female from Region 4, Demerara, Mahaica, who died while receiving care at a medical facility on Thursday, April 29. April is recorded as the deadliest month for COVID-19 with 63 deaths for this month alone. Previously, October 2020 was the deadliest month with 44 deaths. There is no harm in receiving one of the COVID-19 vaccines that is administered locally, even if an individual has been infected with the novel coronavirus but is asymptomatic, that is showing no symptoms. This was said by Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony during his COVID-19 update on Friday.
In terms of mild, or well, not mild, but asymptomatic cases, most of those asymptomatic persons themselves would not know that they have COVID. And that's because they're asymptomatic. They have no signs, no symptoms of anything. So if they don't do a test, nobody would know. If they come, they would tell you that they don't have anything because they are unaware. And in such circumstances, we'll give the vaccine. There's no harm in them receiving the vaccine. So the WHO guidance is that you shouldn't make testing a requirement before someone get a vaccine, right? So that's the guidance. And in our context, we are not going to test anyone before we give them the vaccine. If someone is symptomatic, then by using the questionnaire that we have, we'll be able to find that out and we'll advise them accordingly. If you are mildly symptomatic, then we would be able to use that questionnaire, ask you to wait until you recover. Generally, that would take 10 days. And having completed your recovery period, then you can come and get the vaccine. There was a guidance previously that speaks to if you were previously positive, that you wait for 3 months before receiving the vaccine. That guidance was based solely on vaccine scarcity around the globe. So when WHO had advised that you should wait for the 3 months, it's really because persons who would have been infected would have antibodies circulating in their system for at least 3 months, and therefore give another person a chance to get the vaccine. We don't have that kind of restriction because we have enough vaccines for people. And so we have changed that a little bit to allow for persons who have recovered immediately after they recovered, or we consider them recovered, that they can come and they'll be eligible to receive that vaccine.
The operations of 3 bars in Georgetown and on the east coast of Demerara were suspended for 1 month after officers from the National COVID-19 Task Force found that they were operating in breach of the gazetted COVID-19 guidelines last weekend. The bars whose operations have been suspended for 1 month are T&S Restaurant, Bar and Catering in Georgetown, the Cigars and Cognac Eco Bar and Lounge at Melanie on the east coast of Demerara, and the Chicken King Grill and Bar also at Melanie. Meanwhile, 5 individuals were arrested and charged for breaching the COVID-19 measures at a masjid on the east coast of Demerara following an enforcement activity carried out on Wednesday night, according to information received by the newsroom. It was noted that the individuals arrested were warned previously. Importantly, one of the individuals is a medical doctor who resides and practices on the East Bank also. The doctor was placed on his own recognizance and is due to appear in court next month. On Thursday, the Central Islamic Organization of Guyana, CIOG, said that it stands strongly and fully endorses the task force guidelines and protocols instituted for masjids nationwide during the holy month of Ramadan. When the newsroom returns, we tell you about a young Guyanese man who launched a shoe shining business that helped him through college. Thank you for staying with us. You're watching the newsroom. APNU AFC Member of Parliament and Shadow Minister Dr. Karen Cummins, along with Executive Member of a new and united Guyana, Anag Kian Jamor, received their first doses of the Russian Sputnik V Covid19 vaccine and encourage all eligible people to get vaccinated.
I've taken my Sputnik V vaccine today. It was a very simple process. I encourage you to come and take your vaccine very soon so that we can contain this virus and have herd immunity in Guyana.
I feel extremely good. The vaccine was no pain at all, and I have to encourage everyone to please come out and get it. The COVID pandemic is getting much worse in Guyana. It's all of our responsibility to keep each other safe.
More than a decade after he entered the shoe shining business in New York City, Guyanese author Jamal Adams has brought it home and has managed to successfully open 2 locations in the capital city, Georgetown. With his newest location along Merriman's Mall, Adams tells the newsroom about how shoe shining helped him through college and made him fall deeper in love with writing. He initially returned to Guyana in 2016 to promote his books, but with chancy support from the Guyanese public, Adams ventured out and opened his first shoe shining location at the Pegasus Hotel in Kingston, Georgetown in August 2020. Today, he says the support has been overwhelming as everyone wears shoes.
My name is Jamal Adams, the owner of Smarter LIABILITY shop. I'm an author by profession, but I fell in love with caring for leather a few years ago while living in America. So I began shiny shoes in 2009 while working at JetBlue in New York, and I've been doing it ever since then. You know, this guy once told me, he's a multi-millionaire, one of the founders for Facebook. He said, anybody who's shamed to collect money will punish. And let me tell you, if you do the research on shoe shining, you will see a lot of the significant figures in the world started off as a shoe shiner. For example, James Brown, he couldn't get a record deal because he was black, of course, and what he did, he used to shine shoes. So he went and he began shining shoes in front of the #1 record label at that time, and that's where he got his big break from. A lot of other prominent figures in the world started a career off as shoe shiners, and trust me, it's a lucrative business. Well, we're currently located on the Merriman's Mall opposite Steve Jewelry, and we also have another location in the Pegasus Hotel Guyana building, and we basically do everything that pertaining to leather care, whether it's repairs, whether it's recoloring, whether it's shoe shine, anything that has to do with leather care, we do it here at Smarter LIABILITY shop. Keyword, you would have had an old leather shoe. You just said it. Yeah, we rejuvenate it, recondition it. If you want us to recolor it, we can do that. For example, like we're wearing tan shoes. If you want to have these shoes in black by tomorrow, you can get it. People would have already adapted because we started in August of 2020 at Pegasus, and support has been overwhelming, man. Everybody wears shoes, believe it or not. So I have 4 partners that works there with the shoe shine, and I also have another partner that does the repair. So all together we're a team of about 6 person, but we will have to, extend that eventually. Well, because of shoe shining, I became an author, as I was saying earlier. But unfortunately, as I was telling my neighbor Bibi, I came to Guyana originally to become a writer and to promote my books. But because Guyana is not a reading culture, I had to find alternatives to basically survive. So my first year in Guyana, after I came back home in 2016, I spent trying to promote my book, get it into stores and doing different book signings, but the support wasn't overwhelming as it is with the shoe shiny. So, as any creative or visionary would do, I sat back
and began thinking about other ways that I could still serve the Guyanese populace. Man, listen, I'm a God-fearing person. With God, all things are possible. I don't know how I would have done it, but it was done. You know, once you're persistent and you're consistent, and you know, once you have a vision and you set goals and you're respectful also, that's key. That's one of the key elements when it comes to success. You have to be respectful, and you also have to always remember that, you know, the world is a cycle, so you have to treat everybody with respect and treat them how you would want to be treated. We're open 7 days a week, Monday to Sunday, 8 to 12 on Saturdays and Sunday, and 7 to 6 Monday to Friday. We also have a Facebook page. You can follow Smarter Services. Remember, it's not just leather care. We do pressure washing, we do social media marketing, a whole bunch of stuff. Once you visit our social media page, you'll get a fair understanding of what we do as a company.
When the newsroom returns, the financial, weather and bridge reports, along with sport with Avinash Ramzan. That's it for me, Kurt Campbell. Take care and stay safe.
Welcome back to Newsroom. Avinash Ramzan here with tonight's sport. We're starting off with some rugby news. President of the Guyana Rugby Football Union, Ryan Day, said while it is advisable that players take the COVID-19 vaccine, they will not mandate it as a necessity for anyone to play in a tournament. The union was aiming to gradually restart the sport, but opted to put those plans on hold due to the current spike in cases. Akim Green reports.
Rugby, a contact sport, has been at a standstill since the pandemic started last year. Sport was allowed to resume pending the approval of the Minister of Health back in October 2020. Now that vaccines are available for persons 18 and older, they said it's advised that players do take it, but if they opt not to, they will not be barred from competing in tournaments locally.
My take on that is just like the government is doing. We don't want to impede on people or make people think that they have to take this vaccine. It's a choice. And what the best we can do is make everybody less ignorant to the facts and you know, let them know exactly what these vaccines are about. And from there, I'm sure that a lot of my players would go and take the vaccine. And then you have some on the other hand won't. So I guess in that we still have a kind of barrier where we have players with and without being vaccinated that we still have to look after and still have to play, because at the end of the day you still have to protect yourself even when you have the vaccine.
When the current situation as regards the pandemic improves, a tag rugby tournament will be on the agenda.
We are trying to get a touch rugby tournament going on, and so far, well, you know, there has been a spike and the cases have been on the rise lately. So in order for us to protect our players and protect the public at large, we have kind of you know, lulled the situation and in looking for a tournament right now. We still have some guys, you know, who goes out there when they, you know, have a kind of a training session every now and then. But that's it for us when it comes to playing rugby in this point in time.
They said he hoped that at least they can have a tournament before the year is out, since Rugby Americas North is eyeing a tournament, a 7th tournament that is, in October.
Speaking to Rand, they're trying to run off 7th tournament in October. So hopefully by then we have it under control, and the country that they choose for us to play this tournament in also has it under control. And then definitely you will see some rugby.
For the newsroom, Akim Green.
Football news now with the Golden Jaguars' 2 remaining World Cup qualifiers set for June, followed by participation in the CONCACAF Gold Cup prelims in July. The Ghana Football Federation is bracing for the financial challenges that could arise. During the first round of matches in the World Cup qualifiers in March, the Federation had to incur a hefty bill as both matches were shifted to the Dominican Republic. Looking ahead to the upcoming games, President Wayne Ford said the Federation will have to examine ways of meeting its budget, and he's confident of doing so.
Well, we experienced a huge hit in the March window because our budget, I think, doubled because of the fact that we now had to play in the DR, we had to charter a flight and all that. It was a huge hit we took. So, you know, we find innovative ways as any organization to recover. I think we are going to be able to play all of our games. I don't think we'll have any issue with that. But it's not going to be easy because obviously we are remaining optimistic that by June, July, we can see a better end of the pandemic, and we need to robustly get football back playing in all the regional associations. We understand that there will be genuine challenges with sponsors because they're also being affected by slowdown in business. So it's very likely that we will end up having to come up with the lion's share of the investment to get all the competitions that we want to run. So it's going to be a difficult couple of months, but I believe that we are up to the task, and like everything else, we'll find a way to get through it.
Now, Guyana's top badminton player Narayan Ramdhani has progressed to the round of 16 at the Pan Am Individual Championship 2021 in Guatemala, but his sister Priyanka was not that fortunate. Details in this report. After gaining a bye in the round of 64, Guyanese Narayan Ramdhani, seen here at the bottom of screen, defeated Shea Martin of Barbados 21-18, 21-12 in the round of 32. His next match is on Friday. His sister Priyanka, seen here in the yellow shirt, playing in the ladies' singles, lost in 2 sets to the experienced Nairobi Abigail of the Dominican Republic 21-8, 21-12. The siblings then teamed up in the mixed doubles but lost to Antonio Emmanuel Ortez and Alejandro Jose Pescuan of Guatemala 21-13, 21-13. Narayan and Priyanka are on the hunt for Olympic and South American Youth Games qualification points in the April 29 to May 2 tournament. The Guyana Badminton Association said it is the first senior Pan Am tournament for both players after playing quite a number of years in the junior category. The association said, and I quote, "They had limited tournaments for over a year and a half, but was able to perform at their best despite the pandemic era where they were exposed to a lot of restrictions. We are now awaiting the IOC and the Pan American Federation to inform us if Narayan will qualify for the Olympics and Priyanka for the South American Youth Games after all points in the qualification periods are calculated." End quote. Cricket news now. West Indies batsman Nicholas Pooran will donate a part of his IPL salary to aid the fight against Covid-19 in India. The country has been hit by a surge in cases and deaths in recent weeks, with numbers reaching a record high. The left-handed Pooran, who plays for Punjab Kings, spoke of his intention to support the cause on Twitter.
To all my fans and supporters around the world and back home, I realize I am in a safe and privileged position here in India at the IPL. But it's also heartbreaking to be so close to such tragedy that's unfolding around us. For a country that has shown us so much love and support over these years, the least I can do is join hands with my fellow players to help bring some awareness to this situation in India. The healthcare system is overwhelmed right now. People can't get the medical attention they need because of a lack of oxygen, resources and supplies. I can't comprehend the stats. If you can get vaccinated, please do. I would also do my part, which is continue to pray for India. But not only that, I would also like to donate a portion of my IPL salary towards this crisis in India.
Now, KL Rahul's unbeaten 91 from 57 balls helped Punjab Kings to a comfortable 34-run win over Royal Challengers Bangalore in the Indian Premier League. The Punjab captain hit 7 boundaries and 5 sixes as his side made 179 for 5. In reply, RCB managed only 145 for 8 with spinner Harpreet Bar taking 3 for 19, dismissing Virat Kohli for 35, Glenn Maxwell for a golden duck and AB de Villiers for 3. The win takes Punjab to 5th on the table while RCB stay in 3rd place. IPL action continues on Saturday with the number 4 Mumbai Indians playing the top of the table Chennai Super Kings from 10 hours in Delhi. And Trinbago Knight Riders on Friday announced that based on a request from Dwayne Bravo, they have agreed to trade him to the St. Kitts and Nevis Patriots for the 2021 Heroes CPL. In return, Patriots have traded Dinesh Ramdin to Trinbago Knight Riders. Bravo said, and I quote, "At this stage in my career, I needed a new challenge, which is to work with the young talent for the benefit of Cricket West Indies. Also, becoming part of the new franchise will provide me with a new challenge in CPL. I want to thank TKR for respecting my wishes and for all their support over the years. I also appreciate everything they have done for Trinidad and Tobago in general." End quote. Hero CPL 2021 will be played solely in St. Kitts and Nevis, with 33 matches slated for this year's competition. And with that, we've come to the end of the news for this evening. Of course, you can find updates on these and other stories on our website, Newsroom.gy, our Facebook page, and Instagram. On behalf of the entire news team, my name is Avinash Ramzan. Thanks for watching. Be safe. See you back here on Monday.